Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Myra Ansari with my co-anchor and troubleshooter, John Boel, here with you today. John's giving us a little sneak peek of his troubleshooter investigation that's airing tonight at 6 here on Wave News. John, you've been looking into some of these problem houses in our neighborhood that have been plagued with drug dealing, sometimes shootings. This one, there was even a house fire. What piqued your interest in this particular home and why you chose to revisit it?
Okay, this is, I do get the most complaints I get in the troubleshooter department is over the last 3-4 years has been on problem drug houses, terrorizing neighborhoods, kids can't play in the yard, and the related crime that goes on around it. And so I do them individually, and they're usually a case of, it's almost always a case of, I came to you because I called police and they won't do anything about it. And they even told us they won't do anything about it. So I do the story, and then either the drug dealers flee or maybe police do react and do something about it, and life goes on. This particular story near 4th and Oak, I first did this story back in 2022, summer of 2022, and the people in the neighborhood have kept tabs with me since, because not only was nothing done after that story, but it got worse. It led to shootings and shooting at buildings and more drug dealing, and then a house fire here recently in December. So tonight we have the unusual ability to take you through the odyssey of one house, one problem area in the city over the course of years when nothing is done, to show you the chaos that erupts when crime is allowed to go unchecked for years.
This is video of the neighborhood. John, I mean, it's pretty obvious and troubling and concerning. I mean,
this is actually a different house.
Okay,
this is First and St. Catherine,
okay.
but it's the same neighborhood. It's Old Louisville, and the complaints are the same. Yeah.
But issues of people, they're visibly, in some instances, on drugs, exchanging money for drugs. It is, I mean, you can clearly tell what's going on.
It's so obvious. One of the responses that are common after I do these stories is, my God, like that was so obvious. Why can't police do the same thing? And that's been the question over the years. Also, a part of tonight's story is some of the people there, nearby business owners and residents, shared with me their emails. They've been trying with various city officials over 2 years now to get something done. Like, they've really, really been trying.
Sure.
And so they kind of come around to me as a last step. And then at the end of the story tonight, I had the opportunity to interview the mayor last week. So I went ahead and read him one of the email responses and allowed him to respond. And you'll see that tonight.
Yeah. And, you, in the story that you have, you show video of police driving right by it.
Yes.
I mean, if they simply just looked over and stopped for a second, they could probably clearly tell something's not right here.
It's gotten to the point, too, where I noticed in the old days, when I say old days, 3-4 years ago, I'm sitting there undercover, embedded in the neighborhood, and the police would come and they'd see, they look out for police, and they would stop their activity till the police drive by, maybe wait a minute or two, maybe disperse. Now it's just like, they don't even care. They just keep going. Just keep going right as the cops are driving by.
All right. You mentioned the business owner that you spoke with. I want to play a little piece of the interview that folks will see tonight.
You report it, and I think the expected response is nothing. Just the police usually don't come. If they do come, it's really just sort of slap on the wrist. Like, they will talk to people on the street and maybe move them along, but not issue citations, not make arrests, not follow through. And so I think that's been the usual pattern.
And that business owner there just kind of sharing the frustration of, they go to police, nothing happens. And you talk about these, neighborhoods. There are good people looking for an affordable place to live in Old Louisville, and they want this to stop.
Yeah, one of the points tonight that guy brings out is a really, really good one that I hadn't even thought of before, is that we keep talking in Louisville about quality of life and affordable housing for people who really need affordable housing. And that particular area there, 4th and Oak, is filled with people on the brink, on the edge. And he he points out that when the fire happened on December 5th, there were tenants that then from that house that he knows of that then became homeless on the streets in freezing weather right after that. So, and he asks who's accountable for that. So that's another whole subplot going on here. Sometimes these different parts of Louisville, but this in particular is Old Louisville. And one of the interesting things is one of the stories I covered back in 2014. So 10 years ago is the city has put a tremendous amount of money into the old Oak Street corridor there to streetscape and to refurbish and to work on things. Well, the people and the business owners around there say they got their priorities messed up. They're worried about tree planting and stuff, but basic quality of life issues where you're ducking bullets and the homes are burning down in arson acts.
So
are sad.
So kind of worried more so about the window dressing and not necessarily
Yeah.
the people inside that home.
Well, initially it was a good thought that if you make the street look good, more businesses will come in. And I don't get into any kind of an analysis of that as to whether or not that's happened. But at the same time, looking the other way or not handling or telling people who were calling in about drug houses terrorizing their neighborhood, telling them stop calling, like that's counterproductive.
Sure. So in John's story tonight, you're going to see the drug exchanges going on. You're going to see the shootings that happen. You're going to see video of the fire that happened.
And you're going to see me going back out because these people tell me it's still going on, which I couldn't believe. So I go out and literally park in the same spots that I parked in before, and you'll see what I found.
You've been doing this for a long time. Did you ever, in this particular story, like have it, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening over again? Like, what's your reaction? How do you feel when you go and you see nothing's changed?
Boy, that's a good question. Because I'm out responding to people's concerns all over Louisville, pretty much nothing surprises me anymore. And this sounds terrible, but when I went back out and saw this all, it didn't surprise me at all, because that in many ways is what Louisville has become based on my observations.
All right. So more from John's story tonight at 6 o'clock. You're also going to hear from Mayor Craig Greenberg, his response to John's question when the mayor was here in our studios. You took those concerns from the residents and tried to get an answer from the mayor. And we will see if things change after this eye-opening investigation. Hopefully it will.
And a response from LMPD as well at the end of the story.
All right. Thank you, John. John's story tonight at 6
you.
here on Wave News. I'm Myra Ansari with John Boel. Have a great day.
Thank you.